I'm gonna be doing a story time about my surgery. I had a couple of comments. Everything started with me having just problems using the bathroom, me getting really bloated, me feeling like so much discomfort after eating and stuff. And I really just thought it was like, oh hey, I'm not eating right and I need to start eating right and stuff. But I didn't really tell my mom because at first I thought, like it was just normal, like I wasn't eating right and stuff. But it ended up getting like worse. Like it was like for a whole month I would like throw up my food and like I just didn't feel good after. And then December came around and like December, like holidays, and like I was obviously overeating and stuff, and I started feeling even worse. Like I could not take a shit whatsoever. I remember when I was going to I was super like constipated all the time, and like when I would go to the bathroom I would just be like, Mom, my butthole's gonna end up ripping in half. Like literally that's how I felt. It was like so I ended up telling my parents and they were like, okay, like we're gonna go to the doctor. So we ended up making an appointment for me to go to the doctor. And I wasn't scared or like anything about going to the doctor because I was just like, hey, like I know I'm eating super bad and stuff. She's probably just gonna give me a meal plan or whatever. But no, like this headed like I was not expecting this at all. And especially when I would have to pee, like it hurt so bad. I remember like sitting on the toilet and like being like, cause like it hurt so bad. So then one morning we headed to the doctor and we got there and they honestly took quite a while to like call my name and stuff. So we were just there for like, I think like an hour, hour and a half. But we finally went inside like the doctor's office, and like this was my first time seeing like this doctor because she's my mom's doctor, so my mom took me to her. And so she just starts asking me like questions about my health, like how I'm eating, just like health questions and stuff. And I'm like, for the most part, like usually I eat healthy. Like I try to eat healthy during the week, which I try because I love food and I really just try. And she ends up like doing my ultrasound and then she's like, you have a kyste, which is a kyst. And I'm just like, okay, like what? I was super confused. I didn't even know what to think. I was like, what is that? Like, is this bad? Is this good? I didn't know what to think. And then like she calls my mom and my mom's like, okay, and is she gonna be like okay and stuff? And then the doctor's like, well, I don't really know, like the kyst, like I don't really know. Excuse me, can you just like, I'm scared already, I don't know what this is. And then you're gonna be like, I don't know, like. But anyways, she was like, we need to take more exams and like see what it is, because you need to go like down in the lab so they could do like some other exams to check you up or whatever. So then I had to go to this lab and I'm like freaking out. Like the doctor didn't even say anything else to us. She was just like, okay, go. So they made me drink tons and tons of water. Like I was just there for like an hour drinking water till I was like, hey, like I really can't hold it anymore. So they ended up checking me up, and then the guy that was doing my ultrasound was like, oh, you actually have two kystes. And I'm just like, oh really? So I had one in my left ovary and one in my right ovary. The one on my left ovary was already really grown out. It was 7 centimeters, which was pretty big for what it was or whatever. So I had to get it taken out. So once like the results were done and everything, we headed back to the doctor's office. This whole time I am freaking out. Like freaking out. Like I didn't even know what to think anymore. I didn't even know about me even like having to get surgery yet. So like so they call us to the doctor's office and she basically starts talking to my parents and she's like, oh, so she has a kyst. By the way, when I say kyste, it's because I'm saying it in Spanish, and the right term in English, I believe, is kyst. And by the way, this is something very common in women. Something I didn't know about personally, but apparently it is really common. But most of them, like, you can just take a treatment to get it dissolved and stuff, so they'll go away. But since mine was already grown out, and plus some of them are made out of water and some of them are made like, they could be made out of blood or like other liquids, so they didn't know what mine was made out of. So that's why like they wanted more ultrasounds, and that's the cause of my surgery, because they wanted to open me and like check what it was made out of. So then she starts talking to my parents and she's explaining like what I just said to you guys. And the whole time I'm just there was like this window in her office, and I'm literally just staring at the window like this, and my tears are coming out of my eyes. And the whole time I was like not trying to cry out loud or like trying to make any noise, really, because I didn't want my parents to know I was crying, like especially my mom, you know. I wanted to be strong, and it wasn't like it was something major either, but you know, it was still something very scary. So then the doctor was basically just explaining to my parents how I needed surgery as soon as possible, just because she didn't want the kids to grow anymore, obviously. And then she also started talking about how that's the reason that I was having so much problems using the bathroom and my digestive system overall. So yeah, basically I didn't know how to react, how to feel. I was just crying and crying, and my parents were just like, no, like it's fine, like everything's gonna be okay. But I was just like, why me, you know? Like, why me? Why? Okay, so the day of the surgery was January 21st, and so that morning we headed to the doctor, to the hospital really, but like the doctor was there, you know? So I had to get exams, like blood exams. They took out 3 tubes of blood. 3 tubes of blood. And then the best part is that I couldn't eat or drink anything, which I felt super dizzy after they took the blood. And tell me why, when the lady was taking out my blood, I'm just like, and then my mom is like watching me, and my mom's like my mom's making the worst faces ever. And I'm like, stop! Like, she was scaring me. Anyways, and then I also have to get pee exams and poop exams, so they give me like the little cups, and I'm over here like pooping in the cups and stuff, like, here's my poop, get it examined. It was just weird. So then they have my exams, like they're getting my exams done, and my parents hadn't ate breakfast, so they were like, hey, we're gonna go eat breakfast and stuff, just stay here in the hospital. And I remember I was Snapchatting my friends, and I was just like, hey guys, like I'm not scared, I think I'm ready, everything's gonna be fine. So I'm just sitting there at the doctor's office, like watching some YouTube videos and stuff. And once they called my name and they were like, hey, we're ready for your surgery, like we're gonna take you up to your room, I started freaking out. I started shaking, I was panicking, I started crying again, and my mom's like, baby, it's okay, stop crying, like you're gonna be just fine. And I'm just like, Mom, I'm scared. And she's like, yeah, I understand. And I'm just like, I'm scared. Like, that's all I could say. I was just scared. So they took me up to my room, and they were like, hey, like, take off your clothes and put on this robe. And I was just like, okay. I remember, like, I took off my clothes and I left, like, my underwear on, and then the guy was like, you have to take everything off. And I was just like, okay. Okay. So then they lay me down on the bed, and they start putting, like, vitamins and stuff in, like, where they're gonna put my shots, you know. And the guy couldn't find my vein, best part of all. So they're over here poking me. They poked me 3 times. And guess what I was doing the whole time? I was crying. Yep. While he was poking me, I was just like looking at my mom and crying. And my mom was just looking at me all sad. And I was just like, oh my god, like I don't want to cry because I don't want you to be sad. So then it was already like 1 o'clock, and they were ready for my surgery, and they put me like in one of those rolly beds, and they were like, okay, we're ready. And like my parents started saying bye to me and like kissing me and whatnot, and I'm just like, oh my god. While I'm laying on the bed, my leg was shaking the whole time, and the guy's like, hey, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm just fine. I'm getting surgery. I'm doing great. How are you, sir? No, I'm just kidding. But like, what the hell? Like, obviously I'm not okay. That's why I'm shaking. So by this time, all of the medication, everything that they were putting on me started working. So I started getting kind of dizzy and like tired, you know. And they put me like on this other bed once we got to the room where I was gonna have my surgery. And they tied my arms. They like tied my arms on my like this. And I was just like, oh, man, like this can't get any worse, right? And then they started putting me a shot. And then I started just like slowly just like knocking out, you know? And from there, like, I don't remember anything, but what I do remember is, like, I could hear the doctor talking at points while I was, like, sleeping and stuff. So, like, I was just, like, sleeping, and I could, like, hear her, like, saying, like, oh, pass me this, and, like, pass me that. And then at this point, I heard one of the doctors say, oh, she's snoring. And I felt like I wanted to talk back, but, like, I couldn't say anything. And that's, like, all I really remember after that. And then after my surgery, I randomly like appeared in this other room and they put me morphine because of the pain. So it like that has side effects, you know, like that works different in everybody's bodies. Like everyone has a different type of body, you know? So like my side effect was like my face was super itchy. Like I remember when I woke up, I started scratching my face, and the nurse was like, how do you feel? And I was just like, my face is super itchy. And she's like, okay, I'm gonna bring you like ice. And then I remember putting like the bag of ice on my face. After that, I don't remember anything at all again. I ended up just falling asleep, and then I wake up and she's like, you've been here for 3 hours and your surgery was like 2.5 hours. And then she's like, you can't go to your room till you can feel your legs, because I couldn't feel my legs. And I remember like putting my hand on my legs and like pinching myself, and it just felt so weird. And then she's like, hey, try to lift up your leg. And then I can't lift up my leg. So I ended up staying there for like another hour till I was able to like feel my legs a little more. And then they took me to my actual room with my parents and stuff. So then the next day I woke up, you know, and I was in pain. I remember my parents were like, how does it feel? Like, you know, how do you feel? And I was just like, the way I described it was that it felt like they grabbed my stomach and like pulled it down and stapled it. Like that's literally how I felt. It just felt super weird. But till this day, honestly, like sometimes I just like think about it and then I start crying because I just, you know, something I wasn't expecting. But you know, I'm really thankful and happy that the surgery came out right, that I'm good now and I'm still like on medication. Basically, I'm still recovering too. It's basically gonna take like 6 months for me to actually heal right, because since they did open me, like obviously our body has to close like in layers. Like my top layer is closed, my stitches are out, but my insides are not closed yet. But anyways, I really do hoped you guys enjoyed this week's video, and I'm gonna start to be on track with my videos because I've been slacking quite a bit. Let's see if this video I'm filming right now wants to upload, and if it does upload, then yay for me.